Gilg Jew, Gilg J as Gilg Nerach.
As liegt an Gael Toyach deis a Claare show, Claare na Gael. I'm Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Have I heard tell of old Bobby Bob?
And it's my pleasure to present this programme in two languages, in the English language as Sahilg, and in the Manx Gaelic, Chinianamera, the mother tongue of LUNNY, the Isle of Man. As Bannacht and Jurish, recently we were looking at the poetry of Barbara Cowley of Peel and of her son David Mang and her sister Margie Robinson, and that all came from a later book, More Poems of Man, and whilst I haven't found Poems of Man, I have found more of Barbara Cowley's work. Tan ban Helsing said gemacht de bel inchen peidje egen Count Dracula, ach, de wil ik ginsig al jorisjen op Prowdersen, as gedden maag me gewoon na poerigen tege. Gurish kaars na stiach ons tai benrish en early Seward, through den surrensach zo feegach Renfield. The 12th of May, by the modern calendar, is Shan La Balden, May Day by the old-style calendar. For Manx national songs, W.H. Gill took the air of Morra Le Balden, the morning of May Day, and he set the words by Emil Ingram to make the song Home. Tashu Geisjach rish Radio Vanning, Stashu na Nashun, Biskuller Skeliena by Dulish, Ellen Vanning. The Quartet of Barbara Gael, Christine Brigazzi, Ernie Thorne and Graham Crowe, and the song Home, based on Morra Le Balden, the morning of May Day. This book of Barbara Cowley's poetry was datable to 1965 by the inclusion of a poem on the death of Sir Winston Churchill, which took place in January of that year. But from January to July 1963, there were pieces of poetry by Barbara Cowley printed in the Peel City Guardian, and I think these may well have made up an earlier volume of poetry which I'm assuming was entitled Poems of Man, judging from the title of the second one. And we'll start with a poem from January 1963, simply headed Sonnet. Little island, small and fair, covered now with silver hair, wrinkled sand, so sad and cold, like a face grown fine and old. Frozen trees, austere and proud, snowy bushes like a shroud, icy paths and freezing wind. When, oh when, will winter end? When thy earth awakens free, gentle breezes waft on thee. Green and brown thy lovely fields, greater beauty nature yields. On a sudden shimmering breath, life will flow and conquer death. A chanel seo na prawltas and smooth gan sioilegge. Na renshin fagen ag a toiach der au ulju na kistjegen seo gemoer erning gleisige ag vier elje. Her au fissegge tre shen, ach der au shenenach zijn de away. Ach ulju en tre van a inchen peche shen gemoer gas. As renegol toiach der smunjen na boddige heen gleisige kistje. Maar so, renegol toiach der koene. As esch, tre renne fedden maag der au shen show my de loer, renne corre ber gleisige sledden de lummergen. As me so, te gol a hoiach, as te scale maakt na aien show egge. As genel fisseg pecher be, a limme Jason, a vault had follage. For die der au I fosen on looke at de downs a tollu. De berge gino image jou inruchen so nie, na gliede greies voor die a kachlea komme egge, tat na nis gemaide. As a berg fisseg pecher be, a goel voljacht egge. Ach, ma peche. Ach, ma feche, na gin me grace jail. Now, last year's album of Lwydyn, the Welsh language album of the year, was Mine Olai by the quartet PEDAIR, from which this is the Dance of the Harp, Dance a Delyn.
Sin gari ag ino Ciriad y ddeiar Grombil y mynydd Ymestyn o'r llethrau Ac i'r gwastadeddau yn hel Ei phobl yn rhwyd y curo A'r tonau cymylog yn pwysio uwchben Nes hel cenedl gron ar y traeth A'i swino Glaw man sy'n dawnsio'n o benaid Y glaw man sy'n dawnsio ar gorin o benaid A bysedd ei raidd yr heilwen Bysedd hael cynnas yn cripio creigiau Chwalu dros ddinas a gwlad gwastadeddau yn trochi I bobl yng ngwres ei beledrau A'r tonau disgleiriad yn dawnsio I slaw nes droi curiad y môr A'r mynydd a chenedl gron Yn un ei tanio Dymderoedd y mynydd lle chwarae môr
Welsh quartet PEDAIR. PEDAIR is the form of the word for four when referring to feminine nouns, and there they sang Dance y Delyn, the dance of the harp. More from PEDAIR later. Dyn fish sio chit just begin ro anmach. Hanna be uliwn y liachtanach nen, jint sias as rosh yn lai grenia, bia maso. Esh, chanel bol on fuddia gleisiach as follige. Ren be fergach mor a Jew, de vodmaj ve shigger. Na vel na smoo en scow ingen na heggesen. Esh, krenfe na be eer na skireli na eshen. Jorische chlag te nena a chlag Hannah. As Hannah me visulju de mai, been Gurgin Arthur as Quincey, voorrad de Chorshilia orin. Jew slingend an lei, as signed on golde shigger, me vishen them all, nach jinmud call kay. Gich, be quegjin on, tren ni na fira serach shen chit back. Chouds ve lort, Chouds ve lort va aal courage ondun, jorish cronk doris a halia, cronk double an post je Gillia Chelgraf. Renshin ulju gleisich a mach as a halia, lesh an unvriagnia, as ren van Helsing, as kummelsus aloud the rail tostage, golgus a doris, a stoshlia. Now, after hearing what Barbara Cowley had to say in her sonnet about snowy bushes and icy paths and when will the winter end, you'll not be surprised to hear that the following week's edition of the Peel City Guardian had an article headed, Peel Gets Worst of Blizzard. Now, below the poem, it was noted as Peel January 1963, that was actually published in the edition of the paper for the 2nd of February. Now, the next poem appeared on the 9th of March, and it's entitled White Strand. The silver strand where once we played, then later swam and rode, is now a bleak and stony shore, but loved. To walk across the headlands fair on windswept summer days still fills my soul with sheer delight and praise. How can this island fail to move its wanderers to tears? Again they come to share its pride and fears. And finally they rest their heads on mossy bank and dell. O lovely island, call us home to dwell. A suggestion there of a poem written in exile, perhaps. Bill Whelan, Liam O'Flynn, Andy Irvine and Donal LUNNY joining forces on a slipjig called the Ballymun Regatta, also called Timedance, composed by Bill Whelan and Donal LUNNY as interval music for the Eurovision Song Contest when it was in Ireland in 1981. Siodiw stasiwn yn asiwn Radio Vannin, as yn sio se Claare na Gael vis verglaas en kaartnish, mish Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Karslach.
Haven't heard tell of old Bobby Bob.
Rinnedegger Radio Vannin de krammen agert, as Lurish Brewen krammen shen for die sjoefheden en de mchlaisjo vis verglaas en rishachten, look jiggeler scalia maken geert. De podcast Jint Jane Claarnius, a shen gedden nasty Rinnedegger Radio Vannin, na via een reicher de podcast jou, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, na Alexa. The 23rd of March brought a poem called Peel Hill. Lie on the hill in the afternoon glow, and wish you had lived long years ago, to have watched the ships sail in between the hill and castle, no more seen. Yet smugglers' whispers still are heard, and ghostly sails are proudly furled. The sun sinks low. The slow, soft tread is but the footstep of the dead. And then the 13th of April saw the publication of The Little Beach. When walking on the rocky shore in winter twilight falling, I saw the stormy white-capped waves and heard Fenella calling. The wind shrieked through the castle gate, and no bird was a-flying, as I crouched low and hid from sight, and heard Fenella crying. The baleful moon sailed up above, and ghostly bells were ringing, when suddenly, with gladdened heart, I heard Fenella singing. Hugga Gilliade Chachdrach. Ren an olw dúna doras rísh. As look de Jean Herishorin, doshile as renne laimach erurd. Biern dui son di. Te kart nish, keru rosh nen erchlag, jitwai carfax de sairach as dris ngolmunias. Te Jean de ve gol koers megeert, as fuddy de bia giri fagenshoe. Mina. Vertastig on, na vrishel Yorish Correa Jonathan Harker. Nish, buis the G, nimage me jail de lia. Hiende van Helsing de buw was dorte, ni G gavrach as an achtus as tre heen. Na gin shoe goil al, as na gin shoe goil borgerforce, son fuddy de gin shen tashingiri ege tre ton, cor crach orin. Scummabeg downish, dregere de Gian, liema de skebe een uit vrouwt shaw vai aie chruach. Jinin krek ma hanam de yin away. Oh, hush, hush, my badger, doet Van Helsing. Genel G, kionige han minen senach shaw. Well, the ways of the sea, no, nothing to Gillian frame and the back of the moon as they play on the sands of the shore.
Sweetheart, but no, I ain't in. He stole the warm I heard, but I got it back again. I got it back again. I ain't say let it be, but I can't mere for him. And the waves of the sea, and the sands of the shore, and the waves of the sea. When his back is turned, he's a stranger to me. He's a stranger to me. I ain't say let him be, for I can't mere for him and the waves of the sea. He gave to me the present of a broad diamond ring. He thought it would entice me to gang a war with him, but I to be, and I ken no more for him than the waves o' the sea, and the sands o' the shore, and the waves o' the sea. When his back is turned, he's a stranger to me, he's a stranger to me. I can say let him be, but I ken no more for him than the waves o' the sea. Son, no a high lord and king, and I am but the doctor, no a pair working man. So it's he'll drink his wine, and I'll drink my tea, and I ken no more for him than the waves o' the sea, and the sands o' the shore, and the waves o' the sea. When his back is turned, he's a stranger to me, he's a stranger to me. I am say let him be, for I care no more for him than the waves o' the sea, and the sands o' the shore, and the waves o' the sea. When his back is turned, he's a stranger to me, he's a stranger to me. I am say let him be, for I care no more for him than the waves o' the sea. Still I care no more for him than the waves o' the sea.
Scottish band Back of the Moon with the voice of Gillian Frame, singing about the sands of the shore and the waves of the sea. As a jowl, Gael fuddy de valley kionnacha, chanelli coolina chonent. Ach machinach is girach de G, as the fissegger a fianed as a graied a venser mina wiensjen. Gin smoljenair, an acht weg of pianek gin doubel, the ginnachie a clashen the foglen kayed. Na gin goil almach yon ferrer be gin, ta she nullu currit the slenden chus shaw, as dew hig kionori. Tan tre chit as son dew. Tan suda follow shaw ernal yedel de purigen dunje, as derren lai grenia genode koch lay. Ni a cow tre ons ration on shaw. Gin shu gin te feed minute look nan, as the force pert the grey rost meveli able to hit the saw. Creer be gebute. Shen te oren trestjeel de vel mechar Arthur as Quincey ration hayacht. Musleur looked on fedden gedden chelgram bnasje Harker henk crank cune shigger doris a halia. Now, Nightmare on Greba was published by the Peel City Guardian the following Saturday in its edition for the 20th of April. Storm-swept mountain peaks around me, gentle fields and lambs below me. Wooded glens are hiding from me, gorsebush springing near, evil yellow eyes peer at me. Spiky hands are closing round me. Little people, please protect me. Gorsebush lurching near, distant swelling seas torment me, lowering skies descend upon me. Little people, come and save me, demon bush is here. Well, strangely though, that's a bit of a misunderstanding about the little people. In the Manx tradition, people wouldn't invoke the little people to come and protect them, they'd be invoking them not to come and cause mischief and to torment them, because it was the rather jealous and spiteful little people themselves who were more likely to be the source of the GILL, for which people sought charms and practised certain customs to ward off. Well, now, Breton singer Francois Stéphane has a rather jaundiced view of women. They're only bothered about clothes, makeup and jewellery, he says, and they can't cook or sew anymore.
Wyd gonna fo yn rwy, ar ddwna safed I bagi, am bromodi farfyn ar merhe, I wylid mat o dred. ma, tot uw rolle da pennusta, nous on aimait pur chalarede, di walli ma potre. Elle est parvenue à guerre pour Youvra, et le canto bleu gris les enfants, on parvenu, qui veut tuer, di walli ma potre. Er werd treurig zo muzello, morva devi du sado poco, cade nu aur amundra laure, di walli mat potre. Padi dar para dognu da purme, usa vision da quasi laue, tauio laga a sellu daume, di walli mat potre. Gameo vision piscena staiu, do la cata baiama digu, canto arhango di spigne, di walli mat potre. Apago di spignero arhan, e vedindo farazin di zaman, a nostres meus e vedi leve, di walli mat potre. Arguella tra ara perdeso, io casar mera e di varotro, urmeni gando camarade, a di udar mera he.
Pay attention, lads. Du Whelan Peut-être, a song in Breton sung by Francois Stepan, a bard of the Breton Gorses, and that was a recording from 1932. The Peel City Guardian of the 27th of April 1963 contains a poem Slewalian 1657 and is jointly written by Barbara Cowley and Helen Armitage. As you'd expect from the title, it's about the popular tales associated with Slewalian. Have pity, sirs, I'm not a witch, I'm but a maid of 17, and feared to die on Halloween. Oh, do not call me bad and sly, and say I have the evil eye. What harm to sing at full moon, a barefoot lass who has no shoon? What is a coven? I don't know. Why must you kill me? Let me go. No, no, good sirs, please set me free to wander o'er the sand and sea. I only took the little cat, all thin and draggly, poor like me. Of pretty gown I have no stitch. Dear Lord, I never was a witch. If I'm wicked, pardon me, and suffer me to come to thee, for thy death was by nail and wood, whose only sin was being good. The key is hard and black as pitch. I never meant to be a witch. Dear Saviour, I'm not a witch. Crank Cadian Murray, Jane Lid, as currit dach o'r Irish Towsen and the Genia Sarah, a chuggy Crian Olu as Shen Emmas, Bula the Moor. Yich shen Chelia, as Kujach wrenching glacier amach as Jach Sahalia, but dach kummel Erlus on image na Cochlain Wappenine, as spirit oil salau hier, as a corp oil salau yesh. Jarn van Helsing back a snig, as lug de kummel a chula lie fauslit, jane a rash, as an dare lau egge Erlus on Juno. Ginaurus, verbogen en griere hagen ons nen nedenen, tre erg riech, fagest en Doris, honig shin en charn Godalming as Quincey Morris. Henket stjage on de blew as ren a duna Doris chow chulu jow, as an chid egre, house ren a golrish a halia. Te mai de lure, hoershin en der wall, she kistjechen ons kach, as renshin strai adulju. Strai? Ryan Olu? A hon, washin en dos, rish minute. I'm not sure who did all the accompanying, but we heard the accordion there of Cornish musician Alan Pengelly. Visited the Chroniach with a range of Cornish dance and music groups, the first time I recall as a rather young lad who was following his father Jim in playing the accordion. Stasiwn na nasiwn ta radio fanning a sé Claare na Gael ta gull skelia maach cartnish, mer an peen Robert cutting carswell, Robert a carslach.
Did the ever hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
Esh door Quincey. Chanel vegri innewacht de orchten an shaw. Ach, ne jai, man a veli chitliorish quegger a chlag, signed an gull rain. On a be a cooey de Gael benasha Harker en a lummerken, lug en lai grenia. Beer on shore rash for the nish doet van Helsing, we shir a corals for your foggedjegger. Nota bene, ons chelgram ben ser renne gul me jas by Carfax, shen de grey de renne gul herishen jouwen, as ge wege able de jenu shen ach eggen liggen, bech riddenach rash nen er a glag. Ons gul me jas de riddenach rehiggelein, gaus nish genelliach ouresach. As renne gul by Carfax hoiach as a wall on bech a jerkel en goed slew rish we corritjach Son shigeris for shuish ons burnsie ach tamelt ge raschen. An acht na welle ons shaw hanna, salje gemaakt de renne gul esh ges mile end. Shaw we QUARTET a hon. Well, on now to the month of May, to the 18th of May, in fact, when Barbara Cowley's poem Night on Calf of Man was published. Silver, her hair spanning the rocks, ashen, the moon cruelly mocks, soulless, her eyes gaze into mine, milky, her arms bind me like twine. Whispering, the sound keeps me from home. Dare I attempt swim it alone? Braver than I perish before, crossing the waters, swirling the shore. Help me to break slavish enthrall, mermaid or friend, love turns to gall. Pray the Almighty freedom be gained, better to drown than living enchained. And the next poem appeared on the 27th of June and is called Ingebrek, famous for those leaning trees, and this is the opening of it. Tenderly, watchfully, I'll start again. Tenderly, watchfully, silver bark shining, sad sentinels of grace, maiden trees pining, changed by an evil spell, cursed by mischances. Watching one fearful night, pierced by sly glances, saw sailor lads afar, joyously waited, so cruelly bewitched, jealousy sated. And the modern sound now of Clash Vua, and this is Sliamse.
Shoe. Kiritash and Geary. Kuntash and Geary. Kiritash and Geary. Kuntash and Geary. A talu. A cheen. A rear. An air.
I meant to say the modern Manx sound. Now, Clash Forward, I missed Manx out for some reason. The opening track, called Slamse from the new album Pulled by the Stars by Clash Forward, replete with Ushtimilish Segeri and a bit of Entry of the Gladiators there as well. We'll continue with this poem Ingebrek by Barbara Cowley. Dreaming, I sit alone, weaving my fancies. How did it come about? Arms into branches. Lovely old virgin trees, Ingebrek's glory. Would you, could you walk again? Tell me your story. Proudly, forlorn you stand, avenue rooted. Helpless, your voice is skilled, forever muted. And finally, on Saturday the 27th of July, comes this poem by Barbara Cowley, The Ballad of Clare. White stones, doomstones, keep away from me. Let the Kemach have you where you ought to be. In yonder little churchyard, pretty there you'll lie. And old Fenella, long since dead, be proud to have you nigh. White stones, doomstones, keep away from me. Let the Kemach have you where you ought to be. For once I loved a sailor lad as near me as my breath, but white stones were his ballast and dragged him to his death. White stones, doomstones, keep away from me. Let the Kemach have you where you ought to be. No is de berg femer wij immer keterischen jou in ons achteniach. Jins u krel mi me geurgen, gebea oren furchten rish voden ish. Liesig plan enjach de heilig Urluwijn. Liesig plan enjach de heilig wij Urluwijn. Na wat moet kouwer soel keer be. Hush, genel trainish. Jins u goil ulju na wappenen, bis u Urlu. Rennie kummelsoes lauw raui gaus lore. Fair dodgen ulju klaas na nache corrict de mien ons klaas dorres a halia. Ga nodem mag cor ameser, eer gliede trei, en acht dan rennen eigne meinstrach kaure mage heen. Ons ulju na podden en shelges adventuren ein ons kachleen de tail, ta Quincey Morris rieuwer wij eschen, ren rege a plans on Juno. As for Arthur as mish allach ris cor bailes day mach as mach. Nish, bij Jean de rennen shan osh nache gin tord. Les shilje biu me girten chamber, renne chilirach rege planein son sayach air. Well, we hear again now from the Welsh band PEDAIR and a song called Can a Spief. I'm not quite sure what spief is. I thought it meant a spy, actually, a female spy, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Can a Spief by PEDAIR.
O, dau byth i weithio byth mwy, mi gaf orffwys a hamdden tra bwy. Mi gaf eraill yng nghadw o hyn hyd fy marw, bydd pawb ar fy ngalw, does waith gen I pwy. O, dau byth I weithio byth mwy, na, dau byth I weithio byth mwy. Fyddai byth heb yr un sigaret, byth yn prynu na hosan na het. Rwyf yn fistres ar fegio, benthyca a sgafio.
Does waith be di'r betio, dwi'n unill bobet.
O, dau byth I weithio byth mwy, na, dau byth I weithio byth mwy. Rwyf yn caru hen lanciau yn rhes, mi briodaf rhyw ddydd fy lles. Mi gaeth fod heb ddim danadd, na gwall, na gewinadd, na moes, na gamynadd, os oes ganddo bres. O, dau byth i weithio byth mwy, na, dau byth i weithio byth mwy. O, dau byth i weithio, na, dau byth i weithio, na, dau byth i weithio, o, dau byth i weithio, na, dau byth i weithio, o, dau byth i weithio byth mwy.
Can the Spief, in which the woman vows never to work again, the Welsh quartet PEDAIR. As gyn greu fogel, leis cawra, hugge cachjin sy'n unig. Van Helsing, Harker as mish, kiaull chawchulu jane chula, de DONAL trevi fonslit code chaus rendan yistjin gol kesment eder a fair but chits jack on as a doris. The Godalming chawchulu as Quincey chawbilu, nin shadu just as shilia as erlu de glacier geroshen unig. Now, unless I come across any further poems by Barbara Cowley, that's all the pieces I've been able to find now, either in the booklet I have of a later collection of poems published in 1965, and those ones which probably made up the earlier volume and which were first printed in the pages of the Peel City Guardian from January to July 1963. Well, my Deluresh in just a few minutes. Chris Pearson will be here with 2 hours of the best of chill-out music for your Sunday evening from 7 till 9, and at 9 o'clock Judith Leigh will be here to present Sundown. Well, we heard music by Bill Whelan and Donal Lunny for the Eurovision Song Contest interval in 1981, but then came the interval in 1994, which brought the phenomenon of river dance, eclipsing the Eurovision Song Contest itself that year, well and truly. Ach, Sinead Cartnish, and so until the next time then, this is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Oh, Bobby Bob.
Wishing you a very good night. Eve, I'm a Crieri, was Ortserier, as my Yerian shared you will you.